Ugh. Oh dear. Man, I can't believe I stood in melted cotton candy. What am I doing? I'm actually griefing my own key. Wow, we racked up 9 deaths from that? Where is this guy going? Oh my god, dude, the time is of the effing essence here. Welcome! My name is Saloon. I do transmog related videos on Thursdays and Zero to Hero Mythic Plus series on Sundays. I consider myself a casual nooblet, and I'm documenting my journey from 0 to 3000 rating as a Mistweaver Monk, a spec that has been voted by my viewers. Last week I hit Keystone Master and reached 696 item level. This week's goal is to complete at least 1 plus 10 for the vault, preferably even time it, and have at least all keys completed on an 8. Let's start with the vault. We have shoulder tier piece and legs tier piece. Wrists I don't need and a staff I don't need. It's not a great vault, but I didn't choose my reward yet. You see, I haven't used any catalyst charges yet, because RNGesus has not been kind so far, and I haven't been able to loot a single heroic item I could catalyze. For that reason, I decided to do a delve first, where I forced the Nemesis out for a map. Let's see if I get a decent heroic piece I can catalyze. But nope, it's the worst trinket possible for Mistweaver instead. Thanks RNGesus, I can always count on you to ruin my day. In the end, I took legs because I can at least get an enchant on that, and I catalyzed the champion shoulders I was wearing.
Oh! Ew! What the?
Yeah, I know, but I have still 2 more charges left, so it's really not that much of a waste. The first key of the week was a Priority 8, where we had the dumbest vibe on Brawn Pike. I pinged the soak, but it was way too late. Only I soaked and the other guy just as we blew up. We have 2 Death Knights. As far as I know, they could have just alternated who takes it with AMS and Death Advance each. I swear to God, I played through the entirety of Season 2 and I never vibed on this boss due to not soaking. But oh well.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We still timed the key thankfully, and I walked away with no loot. I did a Floodgate 8 next, where we had a Ret Paladin trying to flex on his 3k mount. But at the end of the day, you're just a Ret Paladin, bro, which is not something I'd flex with. Look at me talking. I have been a BM Hunter main since the end of Legion until the War Within. But what can I say? I'm a simple woman, I like simple classes. But at least my class Discord doesn't go on strike to ask for buffs, eh? We had some issues on the 3rd boss, where the waves claimed 2 victims, but the Paladin carried our asses to victory, as I assume he was massively outgearing this place, and he was boosting a friend or came for the pacemaker, who knows. We easily timed this dungeon and I got a useless pair of boots. In the next dungeon, which was Streets, where I was invited by a Hungarian pre-mate. Their guild is literally called Hungary, baby. Little do they know, I'm one myself. Because of that, I can safely reveal that this paladin's name means pancake. He lives up to his name on the first boss and on the second one as well. That reminds me, pancakes in Hungary are a bit different. We make them more like crepes, so they are very flat, and we put toppings onto them and then roll them up and fold them. Regardless what kind of pancake you like though, what is your favorite pancake topping? In Hungary we typically use jams. My grandparents always had loads of jams. My favorite was the apricot one, or cocoa powder mixed with sugar. Or another traditional topping was quark mixed with sugar and some raisins and lemon zest. I personally wasn't a fan of that, but it was very common. Our tasty Paladin got pancaked again in the nightclub, but to be fair, this time it was the tank's fault because he was stuck on the drums. I tried a few times to type to exit vehicle, but every time I tried there was shit on the floor or ads were coming in, so this poor guy was just sitting there hitting the air. Eventually I was able to type exit vehicle and then voila, he was free. It was funny though, not gonna lie. On the last boss, I suddenly felt an urgent calling. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I felt a strong presence I never felt before. A presence of great power. As soon as the chest appeared, I know it's closer than ever before and that I must have it. I opened the chest and there it was. The one best in slot ring. An insane amount of haste with a hint of crit and leech. In all seriousness though, this ring is an insane upgrade as I had one that didn't even have any good stats for me. I did my own key next, because I wasn't sure if I could handle a plus 10, so I figured if I used my own 10 and mess up, I would feel less bad about it. I took a big risk for this dungeon because I invited a 4-stack group, something I usually avoid, but I gave in this time. They were boosting their priest friend, he wasn't super under-geared, so it was fine. I thought with a pre-made the dragon boss will be easy peasy because they are on Discord, communicating, and then I'll just follow them. Ha! Wrong! It started out well, but we started having issues and I started feeling like a headless chicken. I was all over the place, panicking, worrying about the spells, positioning, health bars, everything. It was a gigantic mess. But we did it on the first try, and that's all that matters. On the last boss, one of the ads cast went through, and I was sweating waterfalls to try to keep the group alive. I think on a higher key that would have been a guaranteed wipe for sure. Other than the few hiccups, it was a smooth sailing, and the first plus 10 I get is a mother flipping streets. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing this as my first 10. Oh, by the way, I'm really close to 4,000 subscribers, so if you've been enjoying this series so far, please subscribe. Or I unleash Woolvizar on you. If you know, you know. So I decided to join a Priory 10 instead. Why Priory, you might wonder? This is very ironic actually, but Priory felt like the hardest dungeon to heal in Season 2, or one of the hardest. Priory and Cinderbrew. But now, in Season 3, I strangely find Priory the easiest dungeon. I'm not sure if it's because they nerfed or changed some things around here, but I just feel comfortable with everything that happens in here. The one thing I'm not sure about is which side is meta nowadays. During our YouTuber challenge, Ret told me it's better to go right side, because they buffed the left side mini boss a lot, so it's not worth it anymore. But I've not had a single POG group go right side yet. Everyone has been taking the Season 2 route. The only difference I feel personally is that the Absorb shield now actually hurts and can easily kill someone. The Paladin packs after the first boss were pretty tough to heal. I had to literally use everything throughout these packs, but only the Hunter died at some point, so overall I think it went fine. Resurrected Brawn Pike was also very spicy meatball to heal. I wish I used Shailun's gift more often, but there are so many things I can use I often overlook them unfortunately, in the heat of the moment. This was definitely tough and my heart rate went up when the tank chained it into another pack, which is perfectly normal to do, but still, again, sweating them waterfalls. The last boss went smoothly, so I timed my very first +10 of this season. This week's goal is secured, alongside a myth check vault slot. I swapped my key and I got Ecodome Aldani. I really like this dungeon. Honestly, the 2 dungeons Blizzard added in after the War Within launch, Floodgate and Ecodome, have been both good dungeons in my opinion. Not easy, but not too hard either. They are challenging enough, but also kind of fun. On the first boss towards the end, the druid died, because he ran really far from me, and I think he didn't run out of his puddle fast enough either. I was casting on him, but he just fell over. After that, I got a circle myself and I struggled a bit to keep people alive, but we got the boss down. This is where all the chaos happens. We have the affix going and the tank and the warlock are ignoring it. He is even looking back at us but decides not to help. I understand the damage reduction won't count for the next pack, but the buff we get from killing the affix would have been nice. Funnily, they waited for us, so they could have just helped us instead, but whatever. The tank pulls, Mage almost dies immediately, and then he pulls even more. I got super flustered by the fact that my Dispel add-on is out of place, and I die to the pink cotton candy shit on the floor like a dumbass. As a result, 2 more die. While I'm running back, I try to move my add-on, which made me accidentally Alt-tab out of the game, that's why you see me stop. Then I get back and I almost die again, standing in poo. The tank is dying, the mage who just got back is dying. In my head I felt like there were thousands screaming at me, I was so overwhelmed. Nobody said a single word, by the way, nobody was flaming, mad or angry in chat. I mean, I was upset with myself. I thought this was an embarrassing display and that I threw my own key, but it wasn't over yet. We defeated the second boss without issues and still had 12 minutes left. I thought that might be still enough to time. On the way to the last boss, there were 2 more individual deaths due to standing in stuff, but nothing major. We start the last boss with 3 minutes 45 remaining. At this point, I didn't realize we were missing percentage. Also, look at this son of a fat pigeon. Not even trying to move to get his copy. Almost dies to it. Anyway, we killed the boss and we have 1 minute 7 seconds left. But then, the tank wasted 20 precious seconds by going the wrong direction, where there is no trash. Like, you can see there is nothing in that direction, and then pulls 2 mobs that won't give enough count, and it's pretty much over. We were 27 seconds over the timer. Could have we timed it? Who knows, it would have been insanely close either way. Was I mad about it? Absolutely. I was super upset, mainly with myself, for causing 9 deaths. I'd say I totally bricked my own key, but I also felt like it wasn't completely down to me. If the tank pulls less after the first boss, or doesn't waste time at the end, maybe we could have timed it. But I wasn't upset with him. I was just annoyed at the run as a whole. It was a frustrating outcome for sure. But we live and learn, my friends. After this I did 2 8s. One I sadly forgot to record, which was a real shame because we had a DK who was lagging so hard he was teleporting the whole dungeon and died to every single one-shot mechanic in Halls of Atonement, so he was literally an extra affix. The last dungeon of the week is ARA-KARA. I cannot express in words how much I detest this place as a healer. In Season 1 this was a nice walk in a park dungeon apart from the last boss, but today the first boss for me is an absolute nightmare fuel. I watched other Mistweavers do this fight and it only showed me that everyone was stacking for the web circles, but who does that in a park below 10? No one. We vibed on the first boss once, but we got it down on the second try. Then I found out the biggest bullshit I've seen this season so far. The stupid affix gets the Bloodguard's damage reduction. So then not only Zelatath has a ton of health, she also gets damage reduction from the Bloodguard. Thanks Blizzard, great mechanic. Like what the hell, man? They really need to try and fix this. Also, someone explained to me in the comments, why do people go rite? Isn't the left side not only more percent, but also has only one Bloodguard, so it takes a lot less time probably and all? I don't know, at least from a healer POV, I prefer the left side for sure. Luckily, despite the vibe on the first boss, we didn't have any further major hiccups during this run, so we were able to time it with 3 minutes left, and I didn't loot the trinket, no. So, after upgrading some stuff, I ended this week on 2.3k rating, 703 item level with 4 set and best in slot ring, and met my goal of finishing a 10. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And apparently, you can hype videos now if you're on phone in certain countries to help me get this video in front of more viewers. Like, comment and everything. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye!